So planting season will be about 4 or 5 weeks here, end of April through May. Time we get the sand ground planted first, then we'll move into the muck. We don't want to plant it too early so it doesn't freeze. And then with the corn, we'll start with our commercial corn, and then we're on a group 2 for seed corn for Pioneer, so that that'll be about the middle of May. We start planting seed corn, and with our delays, a couple weeks to get that planted. And so far for 2025, you know, we're here in April. We got some 80-degree weather. The ground is soil moisture is just right, so it's great for planting. Get a nice seed bed. So it always takes a little bit of the anxiousness out of when we got a good weather. So we got for getting the crop planted. And so we got to be able to get to that. And so. Scott, I'm going to switch forklifts. This one's a little bit bigger to handle that. wait for me because I don't know if we need to go all the way around or how we need to get in there because we don't want to get stuck. Today's beautiful. I mean, it's.
Yeah, did you have good weather yesterday too? Yesterday was nice.
Yes.
Or at least down where I was.
No, it was nice yesterday. It wasn't windy. So I think the last time you were riding with, we were looking at some fields that had some, winter annual weeds starting to grow, but it was so cold that we couldn't spray them because they weren't actively growing, take up the material. So, but we finished up. Both sprayers just finished up this morning with that. So now they're able to follow up with the planters to put a pre-emerge down to keep any weeds from germinating.
Yeah, that's nice.
So we got the bean planter started yesterday because we got all the dry fertilizer spread, and so he was able to start yesterday. And of course, when last time we were out, we were riding, precision guy from Bain Walker was out and got a roll cowl done and parked the tractor, hooked up to the planter, ready to go, pull it out yesterday. He went down and turned around, it was 4 feet off. So somehow it didn't save the number. It was supposed to be a positive number instead of saved as a negative number, so we had to go in. It took a while to contact the right person to find out how to get it unlocked so we can go in and change that number. And luckily, he wrote all the numbers down, so we were able to. So it took a little while. Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Back out for another season, huh?
Yeah.
What are you seeing in the ditches?
Well, I just got to this one. I'm not really seeing anything here. I know the last few years we started a little farther down.
Yeah. So last year we needed to start here. We had dipped this year, so maybe that's why you're not seeing anything from this section on. But I'm pretty sure, the other section will need.
Yeah.
So aquatic control is looking at these ditches we're getting aquatic weeds that grow in them last half a dozen years. And it can be so bad that one year we had, it was holding the water up in the ditch so bad that it was actually flowing back into the field.
Oh no.
Yeah, so he came out and treated it, and within a week it dropped 4 feet.
Holy cow.
Just by getting rid of the weeds. That's how much of an obstruction they were.
Hey, how you doing?
Have you capped this stretch of the road yet with 53s?
We didn't get quite all of it. We got kind of where all those cars are, though.
Okay, because we got to get our tender in there, and the other one with that loose tube was I didn't want to get stuck. So
Yeah.
Okay, we'll try it this way then.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Yep, no problem, man.
We worked on our road this winter and hauled some sand in and graded it, had a nice crown in it. But when they're bringing all these trucks in, their specs call for putting stone down, and so it's still loose, not packed yet. So
I remember one of the times I was here.
Yeah, because we were tiling out here, and so because we were we were grading the road at the time. But once they get this packed down, should be a nice road. Yeah, they want to be done by the 4th of July, so they're going to build the pipeline on this side, and then they'll bore it. The boring machine will be on that side, and then bore underneath the ditch. So they're bringing in mats today. They're putting them on this side of the easement.
Building like a whole road just to put in to board the new.
That way their equipment can come in and they'll have this road for access because they have to access the other side of the ditch where they're going to dig down and make the connection with the pipeline. So they have to have an all-weather road to be able to come in and work.
That makes sense.
So if it rains or those things, they can still get in and.
Hello folks, I'm Troy. Oh, I plant, pick, run the excavator. I do a lot of the heavy equipment operating around here. It's been a while since it's been this warm and dry, this early.
How has planting been for you guys so far?
Well, today's the first day, so far so good.
Okay. Has it been kind of a whirlwind since I got last time to plant mint? Did you help with that?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Got all the ammonia out of the way, so that's good. Oh yeah, it does. Every day something different happens here. Never a dull moment here. Did you ride with Brian yet, planting beans?
No, not yet.
It shows you your simulation, population, your ride, vacuum. Pretty much shows you everything you need to know. Tells you if you got a row plugged up or skips or.
So you essentially don't have to get out as much.
No,
checks
no,
and
yeah.
have it report to you.
Right, basically let it tell me that I'm doing a good job.
We all look into that.
So yeah, I wasn't real crazy about all this stuff at first, but now auto steer and this, it's kind of hard to live without it. Definitely helps with that. And then if it's real dusty, you can't hardly see the drive straight. It doesn't matter what it is, it's going to drive that straight line, I guess. Or it's supposed to. And then I got a couple guys up here that help with that. Usually every time we switch fields, dig around and make sure it is doing what it's saying it's doing. We like to do it, but we like to do it once and not have to come back and do it again.
Go plan again.
It is. Well, way back in the day, Jerry told me that there was a guy planting and the monitor kept beeping, telling him it was not planting 2 rows. So he got tired of it beeping and he just shut it off. When all the corn come up, there was 2 rows missing. So they made him go back in, I guess, and plant it with the 1-row push planter.
That is funny.
That would be a long day. Yeah, now they got speed tubes on these planters. You're able to run 10 miles an hour, so you can knock some acres out in a hurry.
Yeah,
Not that long ago, they didn't want you to plant over 5 miles an hour. That's crawling. Technology's come a long ways in the last 10 years.
anything else that you can think of that's been helpful?
Definitely these monitors and stuff have helped out a bunch on that side. This auto steer thing is great too. You're never overlapping. Same way with the clutches on the planter. You're not doubling up. It shuts off when you get into point rows.
Yeah, I can.
Saves a bunch of money that way. Yeah, see behind us how dusty it is. Now on the way back, auto steer would be great because you can drive right through the dust and not have to worry about it.
You need to open the door. Yeah, no, that one's pretty. But then you get on the north end, northeast corner, and then it gets drops off into some muck. So getting the planter set, you know, if so for the different soil types, sometimes it's the soil type's hard, or we got some clays. So there, you need more down pressure to get the disc openers in the ground, and then where it's sand, if then it can be loose. So you got to. But that's what we noticed over the years, like the lower ground, because the cold air will sink, so we'll have frost on the muck, whereas the sand won't. So even though this field here, it's like, well, this is fit to plant, but sometimes you got to worry about the other end freezing off then. So trying to balance those things. Sometimes it can work out because you can start planting the high ground and then get that done and come into the low ground. But that's why we had a tile. The sand doesn't need the drainage, but the muck does. Or that's why when we were up here last, we were putting tile in the muck so that we can get across it, so we can farm it. And that's why we saw stop there, and aquatic control was out there looking at that ditch because we're paying assessment on it. So he was out there looking to see if the aquatic weeds were growing. He said that it's been delayed a little bit because we're talking about how cool the spring has been, so the water temperature isn't up to the 50-55 degrees that they want to be able to control them. So they're just starting to see those weeds starting to emerge now in the waterways. And so, but on the low ground, that one year we had water out in the field because it held it up so much. So then we couldn't plant until we come in and get it controlled, get the water down, and you had to dry it out.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's a challenge. So it's nice having. Sometimes it's an advantage because maybe the sand is ready to go sooner than some of the other soil types, so you can get started and versus all ready at once. So I had to coordinate with the pipeline people so that when we spray, they have to be out of the field. So to see what their schedule was, how many truckloads of mats they're getting. She thought it was the last one. I see another one pulled in, so I'm not sure. Because it's rugged built, it's heavy duty. It's made for off-road, and it's surplus, so it's relatively inexpensive to get, and it has that application, especially back when we first started using it back in the 40s. You know, because we didn't have some of the equipment and tire size and some of those things you do have today. So yeah, we've used quite a few things, and it's kind of neat finding, you know, coming across some of those things, like some of the Marston mats that they use for runways. Were used, you know, for catwalks and some of those things. So it's gonna be nice. He's gonna be able to spray this field and then go over, and so those guys won't have to quit too early on the pipeline. So because the quarry closes at 2:30 anyway, so they won't be able to get more. They're not getting any more loads of stone after that. And that was the last truckload of mats, so we'll have that unloaded before we even get in there. So that's gonna work out good. That's so we can supplement and put water on those crops if we don't get timely rain. So we can, if we've got a well or surface water, mostly wells, pump water out and then pump it onto the field and water it. Sometimes we use it to put on fertilizer or incorporate herbicides, but yeah, if we don't get if the crop needs water and we're not getting rain at that time, we can supplement it with the irrigation then. So we don't, right, because we either don't have electricity, we don't have power, we don't have water source, or they're just an odd-shaped field that we can't irrigate, and so we don't have irrigation on everything. But so those are kind of at Mother Nature's mercy, and you know, and if it doesn't rain for the month of July, or if it's above normal temperatures, and during pollination and the critical grain fill and pollination for corn or grain fill for soybeans in August, it can impact yield. So this field looks like it's in pretty good shape. Like we could maybe plant it tomorrow if we get done those fields around the shop. That's why I always like to start the planters around the shop, because you never know, a hydraulic hose or something's plugged up from over the winter, or something doesn't work or needs something. We're close there to the shop for the tools and get repairs, and then we come out to the farther away farms.